Hello there. So this weekend marks the 25th anniversary of the original release of the first Shrek movie, and to mark the occasion, it's been getting a cinema release as well. I believe it's around the world, certainly in the US and the UK it is. And yes, I know because I went to see it as well earlier today. I'm just back from seeing it today. So this will be, for my way of marking the occasion, I thought I'd do another 25 reasons because why not? And this is the 25 reasons why the Shrek franchise as a whole is awesome, which not just the first film, but as a whole. So, and there'll be spoilers for some of the films in here. So, if you've never seen them, fair warning. So, some of the jokes, certain things like that. So, this will be my 25 reasons why. And here we go. Let's launch with a very important one, first of all. Number one, respects the audience's intelligence. There are smart jokes here. There are funny jokes here. There's no, you've got your fart jokes, of course, because he's a big smelly ogre and all that. But it actually does have smart jokes, like for everyone, for the kids, for the adults. These are films, especially the first two. These are films for everyone. They aren't just kids' films. They're endeared to this day. So that's very important. Respecting the audience's intelligence, not just hey, here's a funny cartoon now, sit and watch and shut up type thing for the kids. No, it respects the audience's intelligence with the smart jokes, and that is very important there. Number two, this put DreamWorks animation on the map. Really, realistically, as a proper contender to likes of Disney and Pixar, and well, obviously Disney and Pixar are part of the same thing, but Disney do their own separate non-Pixar things. So this was the first really big hit. It wasn't the first film they did because they'd done like Ants came out a few years earlier, which did okay, but is very underrated. That is a film I do need to watch again because I do really like that film, but it's been ages since I've watched it. And you had like Prince of Egypt and all that, which was quite a serious animated film, which is actually quite good. I liked it, but it wasn't that commercially big. But this was huge. This actually really established DreamWorks as a proper contender. And then after that, a few years later, you get Madagascar, another franchise. You get Shark Tale, which was a big hit as well. You've got, so they've gone on to have some big, massive successes here. Now, recently they've had The Bad Guys, which has got a sequel as well. It's not a huge film, but it's done relatively well. So, this really did. The Croods as well, years ago, that was a successful film. So, this really did put DreamWorks on the map. Monsters vs. Aliens, a film I really liked as well. Never got a sequel, sadly, which is a shame. I loved it. Megamind as well, really liked that one. So, that's really launched DreamWorks Animation and done it in style and with little sly digs at Disney on the way, because of course Jeffrey Katzenberg was left Disney in pretty unceremonious fashion before going on to do this. But there you go. Anyway, case in point here, number three, it's so synonymous with DreamWorks that the DreamWorks animation theme, like on the before the films start, even to this day, is still like the music from Shrek, the do 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 do, and it's synonymous with that. So there you have it. Which also ties in with number four. The franchise and this film as well, in particular, the first one, have stood the test of time. Now, some people complained and said, well, it's all about references and in-jokes and all that. It won't stand the test of time the way other films do and blah, 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 which just shows you how little film critics know, because that's complete bullshit. Shrek, it gets a 25th anniversary release. There's going to be a new one coming out next year. I guarantee you that's huge. Whether it's any good or not, I don't know. But I guarantee you, at very least, has a huge opening weekend because there'll be pent up demand for it. And you've got this and even though you've got jokes, okay, this was one of the first films to do a Matrix joke. I think Scary Movie the year before beat it to the punch, but first. But at this time, it does a Matrix joke before the Matrix jokes got done to death. But the jokes still land to this day, and as like I said, still said that. Kept the test of time. You still get Shrek merch everywhere. Primark has a ton of Shrek merch and everything like that. You get Shrek toys in the toy shops, even though there hasn't been a proper new film other than Puss in Boots 2. We'll get to that one. Yeah, just shows you stood the test of time. So there you have it. Number five, which also kind of ties in, endlessly rewatchable. I mean, I'm sitting there, I'm knowing what jokes are coming next as well, and I'm still laughing. And I've seen this film countless times, but it was a real pleasure to see it in the cinema again. It's not like it cost me anything. I've got my limitless card that I pay my fee for, so not like I actually paid specifically to watch it. But I noticed that they actually had reduced the prices for this one, so which is understandable because it's a film that's easily available at home though. So But, it is great to see it in the cinema again, and I'm glad I went to see it. I had a really great time. Number six, it's nice to talk about, after all my complaining about Celtic yesterday, it's nice to talk about a big smelly green bastard that I actually like. So I appreciate that. Number seven, we want to talk about all the sly little jokes they can get in. That's kind of ties in with the respect in the audience, but the little borderline dirty jokes they put in here without going over the board. Like, case in point, you've got the magic mirror scene when he's doing like the blind date type thing, and he talks about Snow White. It's like, well, she lives with 7 guys, but she's not easy. You're getting that into quote unquote a kid's film. It's like, speaking of which, number eight, another great joke, like which ties in with that. When they first see Farquaad's castle, and Shrek's like, "Do you think he's compensating for something?" Yes, and I don't think it's his height. Anyway, number nine, another one, little borderline dirty joke. They got into this. In Shrek 2, Pinocchio with his thong. It's like, people are so sensitive nowadays. I guarantee you, if that happened now, people would complain about it. Like, there was a bit in the second film. I remember I rewatched it again a few years ago before the new Puss in Boots came out, when the fairy godmother says something about the werewolf being gender confused or something like that. And I'm telling you, people would get offended if that happened today. I guarantee you. Anyway, another borderline joke as well. Number 10 from Shrek 2, when they're getting arrested. No, they're doing the cops parody nights, it's called, and then they find catnip on fucking Puss in Boots. Oh dear. I could say something like, "Oh, it's for medical purposes." I can't remember exactly what he says, but there you go. Another Puss in Boots dirty joke. Number 11 from Shrek 3. You know the bit when Fiona tells him that that she's pregnant, and that you've got the boat horn going all the time. I can't remember the exact word. He either says to him something like, "Oh, boss, you are royally," or he says, "Oh, you are in deep." I can't remember exactly what he said. It's been a while since I watched it, but it is a very funny joke, that one, to be fair. And speaking of Shrek 3, number 12. Now, Shrek 3 isn't as good as the first two. Neither Shrek Forever After, for that matter, or the original, the original spin-off Puss in Boots. They are not as good as the first two. However, the lesser films in this franchise are still good. I know Shrek 3 is not that critically acclaimed. A lot of people say it's bad. Nah, I mean, it's, the worst thing I could say is it's not as good, but it's still good. I still enjoy it. Still got fun to re-watch with it. And I don't know, I will take a lesser Shrek film over the vast majority of anything from Illumination Studios. And I like most of their films. Like, I do like the Despicable Me and Minions things, but I'd still take a lesser Shrek film over the best of that. The only ones I would say that are any better from Illumination are the Mario ones. That's the only ones I would say that are better than the lesser Shrek films. But, that's just a thought. Even the lesser films in the franchise are still good. Speaking of Puss in Boots, number 13, the Puss in Boots character being introduced in the second film was genius. And plus getting Antonio Banderas and getting him to be a parody of his Zorro when he played Zorro a few years earlier. Chef's kiss, 10 out of 10, no notes. Absolutely perfect. Number 14, speaking of Puss in Boots, and I kind of alluded to this, the first Puss in Boots film is still good. It was a spin-off, came out after all the other Shrek films. It's still pretty good. I did a rewatch again. I did a rewatch of it before the second one came out a few years ago, and I was like, yeah, this film's better than I remember it being, actually. It was pretty successful and decent enough reviews, but it didn't really set the world alight. But, again, I prefer this over any of the Despicable Me films. I'll tell you that much. And a lot of the more recent Pixar films, I would still take this. So I'm just saying. But I mentioned the second Puss in Boots. Let's get to reason number 15. The second Puss in Boots film is fantastic. Now, I would say it's of the SCU, Shrek Cinematic Universe, I would say it's the third best in there, behind like the holy double, the first two Shrek films. This settles in there at number 3. It was so much better than it had any right being. So I remember hearing it was getting made, and I seen the first trailer for it. I was like, "Yeah, it looks alright. I'm sure it'll be fine." But then people were starting to rave about it, and then you actually see the concept of it, about it being like he's used up his all his 8 of his lives, and now he's on his the last wish and things like that. And it's really good. It's almost like they didn't just dig it up out of nowhere just to think, "Oh yeah, we've run out of ideas, let's just do this." It was like they actually had a good idea. It's like, "Oh yeah, let's bring this back," and then course, you've got the tease at the end, which now leads to what we're getting with Shrek 5, which I think made a lot of people very excited as well. So, and plus, it's genuinely dark. And in some parts, it's like there's actually some quite intense moments, surprisingly. Like the villain is one of the. I don't want to sound like a big pussy here, but the villain here is generally one of the scariest animated villains out there. So, just saying. Number 16, I mentioned though they'd been away for a while. They knew when to stop for a while because I think they knew, like with Shrek 3, Shrek 4, and Puss in Boots, well, I like those films and they still were financial successes and everything like that. People still like them, but the steam was coming rolling out a little bit of the franchise. It was coming out a little bit. So they knew to stop for a while and they brought it back once they had a really great idea. So kudos, they actually knew it. They could have kept going and going and going and doing the same film over and over again. Like, to be honest, that last Minions film that came out a few years ago felt like I've seen that a million times before, even though it made a ton of money, whatever. But at least they knew, okay, let's rein it in a bit. We'll rein it in for a while. So there you go. Number 17, Lord Farquaad's entrance in the first film. What an iconic scene, like torturing the gingerbread man. I mean, God. What a great scene that was. You forget, I was like rewatching this again, you sort of think, I mean, that's instantly iconic. You have to think about it. Number 18. Now, even Jennifer Saunders in Shrek 2 was good. And I can't fucking stand Jennifer Saunders. She just irritates the hell out of me. But this is the one time then Jennifer Saunders did not get on my nerves in the film in Shrek 2 when she was the fairy godmother. So if you can make me enjoy a Jennifer Saunders performance, you're doing something spectacularly right. So well done. So, number 19, great music. Speaking of which, you've got like Jennifer Saunders doing the Holding Out for a Hero as well with that one. I think I heard something about Bonnie Tyler's not well at the moment, so best wishes to her. I hope she gets well soon as well. But the other great music, of course, Smash Mouth right at the start of the first film, and of course their version of I'm a Believer at the end of the first film. The version of Hallelujah, I can't remember who sings it here. I can't actually remember who it is, but it's incredible. It's actually it is quite an emotional, intense scene as well. For all the hilarity that's going on, it just slows down, but never for a couple of minutes, but never feels laboured or anything. It actually works quite beautifully, that scene. So yeah, and the song is an incredible version of it. Oh yeah, Funky Town getting used in the second one, works perfectly. And accidentally in love from Counting Crows at the start of the second one. That was a great tune as well. So yeah, great music all around there. It's mainly the first two that I'm mentioning. I don't remember so much from the other ones, but well, there you go. It is what it is. Anyway, number 20. Donkey is one of those rare things. It's an incredibly annoying character that's endearing and entertaining. Now, this is a very tricky thing to pull off because, I hate on the Flash quite a lot, but the second Barry Allen in the Flash is so fucking infuriating. And I know some people say, yeah, but that's the point. And I'm like, yeah, but he's annoying in a get the fuck off the screen kind of way, not in an entertaining kind of way. It's a hard thing to pull off, but Eddie Murphy's Donkey is an endearing, annoying character, deliberately annoying character, which is hilarious and just works. Kind of like Ariana Grande pulls it off, especially in the first Wicked as well. Not so much. The second one, she isn't as annoying in that because the way the story works out. But the first one, I remember seeing the trailer for it, thinking this film looks really good. But you see the bit when she's doing that, I'm not coming, yes, I'm coming. And just like, oh my God, she's going to annoy me for 2 hours and 40 minutes, isn't she? But then it was like, oh, right, she's actually pulling it off. This is actually a really good performance of a deliberately annoying character. And it's not on the, oi, get off the screen kind of way. Now, her fans on Twitter, they're fucking annoying. they're just insufferable. But, no, she gives a great performance there with that. Speaking of Eddie Murphy, number 21, in the last 25 years, can you name anything that Eddie Murphy's done that's better than Donkey? I know he got nominated for an Oscar for Dreamgirls and that, but he was in Norbit the same year as well. Never actually seen either of them, but Norbit looks fucking terrible, to be honest. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, Beverly Hills Cop Axel F was actually quite good. That came out on Netflix a couple of years ago. I quite enjoyed it. Nothing great, not as good as the original, but quite liked it. But in the last 25 years, this has been the Eddie Murphy role. Let's be honest. And of course, the Mishu the Dragon from Mulan came a few years earlier, so There you go. Just thinking that there. Number 22, support characters are great. I've mentioned Puss in Boots, Pinocchio, the gingerbread man, the three little pigs as well. They're fun. They have their moments as well. The Prince Charming character played by Rupert Everett works really well. So, great supporting characters, which it helps prop up the main ones as well with that. Number 23. And another shout out for Shrek 3, because it is quite underrated. It does have its great moments, and well, one of them is the Paul McCartney joke when when the king passes out, the Frog King guy passes away, voiced by John Cleese, and then they're doing it's the frogs are singing "Live and Let Die," which is obviously a throwback to like the frog song that Paul McCartney done for Rupert the Bear. Which it's you might a lot of people might not get that if you're not familiar with that bum 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 baya bum bum. But no, that's such a great joke. Just a great underrated joke. I just thought I'd shout that one out. Number 24, first animated movie to ever win the Best Animated Feature Oscar. So and let's be honest, this film should actually have been nominated for Best Picture. Now, looking back, this was the same year that the first Lord of the Rings came out, and as well. Now, this wasn't even nominated, and there was 5 at the time, but in the main Best Picture. But thankfully, it won. It gets to make its little bit of history there. It beat Monsters Inc. out for it as well, which is a good film, but I don't think Monsters Inc. is a patch on Shrek, to be honest. Some critics were like, Monsters Inc.'s better. I'm just like, nah, Shrek all the way, man. Even though no shade to Monsters Inc., very good film. But, that's just my thoughts there with that. And by the way, I mentioned Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring did not win Best Picture that year. Do you remember what won it? Probably not. It was A Beautiful Mind. You know that Russell Crowe film that no one ever talks about anymore? Mm-hmm. There you go. But Shrek gets a 25-year anniversary release. Where's A Beautiful Mind's 25-year anniversary release? Fucking nowhere, because no one fucking cared. And last, but by no means least, quite possibly the most important reason that I may have saved the best for last. Number 25, a couple of weeks ago, Sabrina Carpenter said Shrek 2 is her favourite film. And if you get endorsement from Sabrina, that's the ultimate endorsement as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if she was joking or not. You never know what her but I could definitely, with her style of humour and everything like that, I could definitely see a film like Shrek 2 being her favourite film. So, and not some, you'll get some pretentious pop star who'll ask like Billie Eilish or something like that. Like, oh, what's your favourite film and all that? She's like, I like the avant-garde film and all that shit. Like, shut up. Shrek 2 is way better. So, anyway, that's just I had to get a Sabrina reference in there somewhere. Come on. And it had to be, come on. I had to. Anyway, that's just my thoughts there. 25 reasons why the Shrek franchise is awesome. And no doubt there's actually a lot more that I haven't even gone into yet. But that's just my thoughts there. Thanks for taking the time to listen, and goodbye.